This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here with your latest Meteo Mundo forecast on this Monday, January the 22nd. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. As we get through the forecast this week, there's going to be one weather feature that is going to be impacting everyone in the Caribbean and in the Bahamas. It's pretty rare to talk about a feature that's so big in scale that it's going to be influencing all of our weather for the week ahead, but that's exactly what we got in this forecast. So let's get started. Thank you so much for liking the video on this early Monday afternoon. We continue to see a lot of cloud coverage over portions of the Gulf of Mexico through the western Atlantic, have an area of low pressure and a stalled frontal boundary just off the coastline of Texas. This is bringing very cloudy conditions to portions of the Bahamas. It's been cooler there the last several days as well, but all of us, if you can hear my voice, across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, seeing extremely strong winds. And that is going to be the story of this feature. The winds it's going to bring and the opportunity for higher than normal rain chances again, both in the potential on a daily basis, but also the amount of rain as well. The numbers that you see are wind gusts on this Monday morning. It's a loop over the last 6 hours. If you see a number in your area, that station reported a wind gust over the last 6 hours. In the Bahamas, we don't have a lot of areas reporting a wind gust of over 30, but the central Bahamas are certainly off of the east coast of Florida, 30 to 35 mile an hour winds. It's very cloudy. It is extremely windy. Windy enough where currently they are under a gale watch across the central and the northwestern Bahamas through tomorrow morning, and that could be extended. The winds really aren't going to be relaxing until later in the week. And that is the big story. Look at these winds here. Cockburn Town there as you get towards the Turks and Caicos. 35 mile an hour wind gust this morning. Strong winds through portions of Hispaniola, certainly over Puerto Rico. San Juan reported a 28 mile an hour wind gust. Ponce, nearly a 30 mile an hour wind. These fresh easterly breezes continue for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. St. Croix, over a 30 mile an hour wind gust on Monday morning. St. Thomas, about a 25. Road Town there in the BVI, about 25 miles an hour. Now you get up towards the northern side of the Leeward Islands in places like Antigua, 25, Montserrat over 30. And again, east winds, still small craft advisories, high surf and sea conditions in this area, also minor flooding of northern and eastern coastlines, especially in those kind of shallower areas. The water continues to pile up with these very brisk easterly winds. Dominica, about a 25 mile an hour wind gust there a little bit earlier in the day. How about Barbados? Over a 35 mile an hour wind gust. So you can see these are intense winds in the scale. It's basically everyone. In the ABC Islands, we had a 35 mile an hour wind gust for a time in Bonaire and very persistent 20 to 25 knot winds. For my friends in Jamaica, Montego Bay, 35 mile an hour wind gust this morning. And again, this is all from one feature. It's all from one feature with the wind and the rain. Let's talk a little bit more about that feature. Let me get over to a little bit wider satellite shot. Okay, you can't really see it here, but I'm going to switch over to our wind vector product and you'll be able to see it. What is the feature? It's a very massive area of high pressure coming off of the United States East Coast, highlighted by these very strong clockwise winds around it. Look at the push of east winds continuing for our entire area. This is a very strong and a very large scale area of high pressure. We can get these sometimes in the winter months. Let me put this into motion. You'll get an idea of how slowly that this high is going to meander towards Bermuda. So coming off the United States East Coast today, meandering towards Bermuda. But guess what? That keeps our entire area south of the high. Strong east winds on the south side of that. And I'm talking about where you see purples and pinks, winds of over 20 knots, even 25, close to 30 as you get towards the whites there in the southern side of the Caribbean. But this is going to continue to kick up surf and sea conditions in a lot of areas. It's going to continue to provide at least some passing showers, but some areas will get enough rain where we can have a few inches of rain between now and Friday in a couple of spots. But again, this is all from one weather feature to influence our entire area. Pretty unbelievable, but that is going to be the case. Now, the wind is a big story, especially when it comes to what's happening with the waves. So I want to look at that first. These are going to be our wave heights in feet I'm gonna take myself off screen. And again, significant wave heights are basically anywhere in green. You're looking at 7-foot waves or higher. First of all, for the Bahamas, on the eastern side, we continue with very high wave heights, maybe into the double digits, okay? Maybe into the double digits, especially in the open waters of the Atlantic. Really high wave heights through portions of the Caribbean, beginning to creep up to the southern sides of Jamaica and Hispaniola, and then look to the northern sides of Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands. This is even as we get into later in the week, we say with these massively strong east winds, which could bring near double-digit wave heights to those areas, certainly providing at least the opportunity for small craft advisories, high surf advisories, and maybe even some localized minor flooding. It's such a huge story. It's such a large-scale event. But that is the big story for us here. We can look at a couple of other things to kind of hammer this home. I can actually switch over to what we call absolute vorticity. All right. So this is basically the spin in the atmosphere. This is the spin in the lower levels of the atmosphere. You'll start to see this low coming off. Now, again, this is a massive product here. It's going to take just a little bit of time for this loop to continue to kind of catch up. It's a very high memory usage graphic, if you will. But I just want you to notice this continued vorticity through the Western Atlantic with those east winds shoving in all of that. Vorticity means there's spin, and spin can lead to lift in the atmosphere and taking some of this cloud coverage and moisture and turning it into rain, and it will just continue. And that's one of the big stories for us here. So that's the look at vorticity. Let's look at the actual reflectivity. So this is going to be over the next 5 days. And again, let this load up. Might take a second to get it fully loaded as it does so. Again, I appreciate you liking the video. If you want the latest forecast and keep up to date in your area, subscribe to us here at Meteo Mundo, and we'll let you know those forecasts on a daily basis. So let's take a look at our rain. Again, it's relatively widespread. Is it going to be a ton of heavy rain? No, we don't get that this time of the year. But the continued chance for rain, especially across the Lesser Antilles and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, portions of Hispaniola, getting a little bit more rain back towards Jamaica. One of my friends there said they got a little bit of rain over the weekend. That's good news. They could use more rain. And the persistently strong east winds across the Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, which will eventually turn out of the south and make things warmer there as well. Let's take a look at some of the rain in the area. We'll start off in the Bahamas. Again, we'll get some scattered showers underneath this thick cloud coverage over the next 24 to 36 hours. I don't think it's going to add up to much, but it's been chilly there lately as well. Now, those winds are going to be turning more out of the southeast later in the week, and that will begin to warm things up. It's been relatively chilly here lately, but again, warmer weather is on the way beginning on Wednesday. But the persistent easterlies will continue to provide the opportunity for some scattered showers throughout the entire Bahamas and the Turks and the Caicos. And really, that's the forecast for a lot of you. Again, there'll be a better chance for rain in places like Punta Cana and Santo Domingo compared to Port-au-Prince, but I think even the Haiti side of Hispaniola catches a few showers. Certainly, again, we're favoring the eastern side of the islands with a strong easterlies. So again, the eastern side of Puerto Rico, but look at that rain just continue to move into the area. So what I would expect in this region is you're going to have a chance for some rain every day. You're not going to get rain every day. And typically speaking, it's not going to be heavy, but downpours are possible. It's not out of the question to get a downpour in Anguilla, in Barbuda, in Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Montserrat, as you head towards Martinique and my friends in St. Lucia, and Barbados and St. Vincent. Obviously, Dominica is included in that. Trinidad and Tobago is one of the areas here, when I was looking at the model before coming on, that tries to really just shove a lot of moisture here into these areas, and the rain totals might be slightly higher in those areas. But everyone has a chance. ABC Islands, which were a little bit drier, relatively speaking, last week, a little bit higher rain chance overall. It's still not as much as the Leeward Islands, but you can see there's a little bit more green on the map for you. And again, consistently strong winds with some gusts that'll be over 30 and 35 miles an hour. For my friends in Jamaica, again, it's been a relatively dry forecast the last week or two. A little bit better chance for some rain, at least some passing showers for the entire island. So Kingston and Portmore, Spanish Town and Maypen and Mandeville, Montego Bay, Negril, everyone gets the chance for a few showers. I don't think that I'm favoring any one part of the island for the 5-day forecast. Again, not a lot of rain, but the chance is going to be a little bit higher. Now, the easterly winds will shove in some rain across the Central American and the Yucatan Caribbean coastline. Again, it'll be favoring the coast, so places like San Pedro Sula and Belize City, Roatan, and Cancun and Cozumel for a little bit more rain. It's not going to be extremely persistent, but there'll be at least some scattered showers in these areas. But again, there's just a lot of green on the map. And oh, by the way, here in the southeast United States, another front coming in to move across to continue to bring the opportunity for some scattered showers throughout the Bahamas. The Bahamas might be relatively wet compared to some other places, but again, it is unbelievable to see all this green on the map. Bermuda, we'll see that high slide right over them, so they'll actually dry out a little bit because that high will be right over them. But all of us should warm up a little bit as well late in the week as the winds turn a little bit more to the south and to the east, especially into the Bahamas. Let's take a look next at the rainfall totals for us here. I think that's a good idea. So let me switch over to the total precipitation, and we'll just take a look at one time frame here. That is not total precipitation. That is not total precipitation. That is total precipitation. Sometimes I swear I click the right thing and it still doesn't want to, cooperate. But here we go. We got it. So this is through basically Saturday morning at 1 a.m. Is it clearer to see where the central area of the high pressure is? I mean, look at how concentric that area of no rain is. That's where the high is, where you have sinking air right over that and clear skies. It's amazing, but also just look at how big the feature is. Again, I mentioned it. So now, look, it'll be snowy and wet in the United States Northeast, and then we swing the south winds around and we drive in the easterlies through our area. And here you go. I mentioned Trinidad and Tobago. Let's take a look at those areas as far as some of the higher rain chances and totals at least. And again, we could be catching 1 inch to maybe 2 inches of rain around the islands here. So keep that in mind. But everyone, and I mean everyone, has the chance for some rain, at least 1/2 inch, if not more, through the Lesser Antilles. Again, I'm favoring the eastern side of the islands, wherever you are, to have a little bit higher rain chance and a little bit more total. But the islands generally are small enough where even the western side will catch some. And you see the model's very persistent and consistent on this. Again, the eastern side of Puerto Rico, right around 1 inch of rain, a little bit more of a rain shadow effect as you go inland, but still the chance for some scattered showers. Went way too far out in the zoom there, but if I zoom back in, once again, even as you get down towards Santo Domingo there, not as much rain, but the central side of the Dominican Republic, well over 1 inch of rain. Could be some significant rain there. ABC Islands, you have a little bit better chance again for some more rain. It may not be a ton, but 1/4 to 1/2 inch over the next 5 days. We'll swing over to Jamaica. And again, for Jamaica, look, I don't want you to think that there's a lot of rain coming, but the chance to get a little bit more rain, again, maybe the eastern side of the island a little bit more towards Port Antonio and other areas there. But everyone has the chance for some scattered showers. Let me know in the comments section below if you catch some of this rain or if you've seen some of that rain. Again, it hasn't been a lot there in Jamaica lately. And as I've mentioned, the eastern side of Central America there, right along the coastline, we could try and pile up some rain. It may not be as much as the model is showing, but certainly when you take all of that east wind over the vast Caribbean Sea, and then you have the lift as you get towards land, you get that land interaction, you're going to lift some of that moisture. You're going to have some heavier rain through portions of the coastline, and we see that with maybe 1 inch of rain possible over the next 5 days in Cancun and Cozumel. Now, again, for the Bahamas, it may not end up being a lot of rain overall for places like Walker's Cay and Freeport and Marsh Harbor down towards New Providence and Eleuthera and San Andros, but wind and rain is going to be a big story in this area. If I go back over to the wind vector product here, it might take one more second to loop this back up, but I just want to mention again, for the Bahamas, you're going to see, that's way too close, Rusty. You're going to see these strong east winds shift a little bit more out of the southeast as we get towards later in the week. Warmer air is coming. You can see that, and it'll be a little bit more relaxed. So stay tuned for that. It'll get a little bit better in the boat and the beach forecast. Let's talk about, though, what's happening right now in Grand Bahama. So right now, we have a northeast wind, 20 to 35 knots on this Monday. The forecast for tomorrow is not much better. Northeast to east winds at 20 to 30 knots, a gale watch at least through Tuesday morning. Seas are going to be all over the place. Again, small craft are advised to stay in port. Seas running probably around 4 to 6 feet in sheltered areas, and then up to 10 feet in the exposed waters of the Atlantic. The winds don't relax much on Wednesday, east at 15 to 25. Seas still running 3 to 7 feet. Thursday and Friday, boating conditions will improve across the Bahamas. For Trinidad and Tobago, again, it's unbelievable for late January, these rain chances. Now, I think we're going to get some passing showers over the next couple of days. 30% chance is your lowest chance for rain. Again, it's not going to be a washout. There'll be periods of full sun as well. But these are fast-moving showers racing across the islands. It's a 40% chance on Wednesday. And then there's more moisture to play with on Thursday and Friday. So guess what? Now we get the opportunity for more actual downpours, and where we would see those rain totals tick up a bit on Thursday and Friday, with daytime highs falling a few degrees. How about that? How about these rain chances here in late January? Friends, you can follow us across all of social media: Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You can email me, mymeteomundo@gmail.com. Here's the thing about TikTok. We are getting a lot of views on our videos, and we need more followers. So if you're on TikTok, find us at Meteo Mundo and follow us. And the reason why is I actually do a little 30-second forecast on TikTok. It's a little snippet of these YouTube videos. It's a completely different recording, but you get the idea. I give you a little preview of what you would find here on the YouTube channel. We'd appreciate you following us there. So how about that, guys? That's the forecast for this Monday. You got any questions, you can always drop it in the comments section below. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you soon right here, friends, at Meteo Mundo.